information, not interference. That's how President Trump says he would treat dirt being offered by a foreign country. Let's bring in Gianno Caldwell, Fox News political analyst, and Doug Schoen, a former pollster for Bill Clinton and a Fox News contributor. Thank you both for being here. All right, Gianno, let me begin with you. You could argue that being open to dirt does open the door to bad actors who want to play or at least influence the presidency. Could you not?
I think that's a fair point, and I'm just kind of surprised by some of the Democrats with their fake outrage. We talk about Chairman Nadler. We're talking about no, sincerely. President Trump is a guy who in 2016, while he was running in office, said that he buys politicians by way of giving donations so they can do what he wants them to do. He's also a guy who said, Russia, in a press conference, if you're listening, give me Hillary Clinton's emails. So this isn't surprising to me. However, I don't think it's something that the president of the United States should be saying. And further, for those who would want to defend the president on this point, I would say that it would be very disingenuous for those that defend him on this when we talk so much about the Steele Dossier and why we shouldn't have had political opponents using foreign sources to get information on candidate Trump.
Well, yeah, it's interesting, Doug. Let's not forget Hillary played for the dossier and the DNC for dirt on President Trump, that infamous dossier. I mean, is this just a part of political life?
No, it isn't, and it shouldn't be, Ashley.
But it is.
I agree. Well, it shouldn't be. You know, we went through a almost 2-year process with the Mueller report. No collusion was found. And for the president to say, I want information from foreign powers, I think that makes no sense. And I think if he thought about it, he'd withdraw the comment. And the Steele dossier is a prime example why we don't want anyone, allies or adversaries, in our politics.
But let me come back to that point, Gianno, about the Hillary Clinton campaign. Hillary said, quote, well, it's part of what happens in a campaign, getting dirt. And, of course, as we know, the dossier, the Russian dossier from a British, ex-British intelligence officer, is kind of ironic and hypocritical, is it not, for the Democrats to cry foul?
It absolutely is, especially considering the fact that we haven't heard many of them talk about how unfortunate or inappropriate it was for the Hillary Clinton campaign and the DNC to have paid for this information in which they, in turn, was able to successfully launch an investigation by way of the FBI director into the Donald Trump campaign. So when we consider these elements, I think there's a need for both parties to be absolutely honest about what the stakes are. And let's not try to play one side or another for the sake of political points. We should be honest with the American people on every angle.
Doug, I want you to listen to what House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said about these most recent comments by the president and the ongoing pressure on her for impeachment. Take a listen.
Sure.
This one borders on so totally unethical that he doesn't even realize it. However, what we want to do is have a methodical approach to the path that we are on, and this will be included in that. But not any one issue is going to trigger.
Again, I come back to Hillary. I can't help myself, Doug, because I just want to say, okay, fine, Nancy Pelosi. What about the 33,000 emails that were destroyed on Hillary's private server while under a congressional subpoena? It's one thing to cry outrage, but it's difficult, isn't it, when you look at the past history?
Yeah, and I agree with Gianno. I think both parties should swear off this stuff. Yeah. I think there is an investigation of Hillary going on. So much the better. We ought to find out what happened both with the emails and with the so-called Comey investigation. Right. What happened with Loretta Lynch, Comey, all that. So I agree.
But, Doug, very quickly, is impeachment the way to go for the Democrats? And, you know, Nancy Pelosi, very reluctant, it appears.
You know, I really think this is a big mistake for the Democrats. There's no way they can remove 100%. Donald Trump. The Senate will never vote for it. I think it's a mistake.
Gianno agrees. Gentlemen, we're already out of time. Busy day. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ashley,
for joining us today.
Thank you.
Doug, not on the beach in Florida, but in the desert of Arizona. Wow, that's a turn up.